In this video, we're going to look at proving trigonometric identities when double angles are involved. Alright, so in this question, we're going to try to prove that tan theta plus cot theta is identical to 2 cosec 2 theta. Alright, well, we've not looked at a double angle for cosec, have we? Except that we know that cosec is 1 over sine. So I might just give myself a target here. So we are still going to start with our left-hand side and work our way towards the right-hand side, but it can be really useful to give yourself a target. So 2 cosec 2 theta is 2 over sine 2 theta. And maybe I'll just give myself one more step backwards to head towards that. Sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cos theta. Okay, but that cancels down to 1 over sine theta cos theta. So I'm just giving myself this as a target to aim for, because that's easier than aiming blindly towards 2 cosec 2 theta. So we start with our left-hand side, which is tan theta plus cot theta. Now, whenever one side has a different structure to the other, for example, 2 things added together and then on the left, and then just one thing, one term on the right, we're going to have to use algebraic fraction techniques to squish things together. So to do that, I better express these as fractions. So tan theta is sine theta over cos theta, and cot theta is cos theta over sine theta. It is 1 over tan theta, but the cos theta over sine theta form is often more useful. Okay, I want a common denominator here of cos theta times sine theta. Okay, that looks good because look where we're heading towards. So my common denominator, I'll just write it this way around, sine theta cos theta. So I've multiplied top and bottom here by sine theta. So sine squared theta, maybe you can see where this is going. I multiply top and bottom here by cos theta, and I get cos squared theta. Well, sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is 1. And here I've got the thing I was aiming towards. And now you can see that the work I've done over here helps me see how to finish this proof. I'll just double the top and the bottom. And now the denominator is sine 2 theta, so that's 2 over sine 2 theta. And that is, of course, 2 cosec 2 theta. And then you can celebrate by saying that is the right-hand side. And there's the kind of perfect structure that you should see in your proofs. Left-hand side is something, is something, is something, is something, is something, something is the right-hand side. Nothing, you don't want to be subtracting or adding things, moving things around from one side of your identity to the other. Okay, let's do another. I really do encourage you, by the way, to pause the video and have a go at this yourself first, if you dare. All right, very simple term on the right, much more complicated on the left. So we start on the left. Left-hand side is sine 2x minus 1 over 2 cos x minus cosec x. Okay, well, I'm basically hoping that a whole bunch of stuff is just going to cancel, cancel, cancel and leave me with sine x somehow. What can I do to begin? Pretty much the only thing that we can see that we can do is expand this sine 2x. You know you don't want any double angles on the right, so you might as well clear it up on the left by expressing that as 2 sine x cos x minus 1. Okay, what about on the bottom? Well, I've got this cosec here. Since we're aiming for a sine x, and since cosec x is 1 over sine x, I might as well rewrite it like that. So I've got 2 cos x minus 1 over sine x. All right, well, maybe you can see this now, maybe you can't, but fractions over fractions are never usually a great idea. So I might just sweep through and multiply top and bottom by sine theta and see what we get from that. Okay, so on the top, I've got this whole thing, 2 sine x cos x minus 1, and all of that times sine x, sorry. And then on the denominator, well, if I multiply that through by sine x, I get 2 sine x cos x minus 1. And there we have it. 2 sine x cos x minus 1 is a factor of the top and the bottom, so I can just cancel, and that's just sine x. And that's the right hand side. And as I've said before with proofs in trig, when you start these, they will appear really challenging and often you don't know what way to go. But bit by bit, with practice, earlier and earlier, you'll see where it's going. Like, I'm hoping that by the time we got to this line, you saw that this term could cancel with that. With a bit of practice, you might have had that, aha, I see where this is going moment one line earlier. So you might have spotted here that actually the structure of the top and bottom was really similar if I could only just multiply through by sine x. And then with practice in the end, that moment will just come earlier and earlier. Okay, let's look at one more. So we're going to try to prove that cos 3x is 4 cos cubed x minus 3 cos x. So this is a triple angle, and if you want, you could learn all the triple angle formulae. We just don't tend to use them quite so much. So why is this in a double angle formulae video? Well, it's because it's going to crop up, you'll see. So the trick here, and this is always true for all higher multiple angles, like triple angles, quadruple angles, is to start by using the addition formula. So think about, let's begin this properly, left hand side is cos 3x. Now here's the trick. We can represent cos 3x as cos 2x plus x, because 2x plus x is 3x, and now I can attack it using the addition formula for cos. So there's my a, there's my b. So a is 2x, b is x. So that's cos a cos b minus sine a sine b. And now I've got some double angles. Right, on the right hand side, I've got no double angles, no higher multiple of angles. So I'm going to keep stripping everything back down to single angles. So take this cos 2x and I'm going to break that down. Now I've got three options with cos 2x. It's either cos squared x minus sine squared x, or it's 2 cos squared x minus 1, or it's 1 minus 2 sine squared x. So which should I use here? Well, look where we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to a place that has only coses in it. So I guess I'll use the one that only has coses in it. So that would be 2 cos squared x minus 1 times cos x. And now there's only one sine double angle formula, so I'll use that. 2 sine x cos x multiplied by sine x, so I'll just put a sine squared x there. Okay, we'll keep going. Expanding this, I've got 2 cos squared x times cos x, which is 2 cos cubed x. That's good, I want some cos cubed x. Minus cos x. And what about this? Well, I only want cos x's in my final answer, and I've got a sine squared x. But we have a way to convert sine squared x's into cos squared x's, because sine squared x is 1 minus cos squared x. That's just your Pythagorean identity. And there was still the cos x at the end. So we'll neaten that bracket up. So we've got 2 cos cubed x minus cos x. Okay, what have we got here? Well, minus 2 times 1 times cos x is minus 2 cos x. And then minus 2 times minus cos squared x, that's plus 2 cos squared x times cos x is plus 2 cos cubed x. So what do we have? I've got 2 cos cubed x plus another 2 cos cubed x, so 4 cos cubed x. Minus cos x minus 2 cos x is minus 3 cos x. So there we are. That's what we wanted. Okay, that is the right-hand side. And that's a kind of classic kind of exam question, like prove that result and then maybe use it to solve something. Because now, if, for example, we were asked to solve 4 cos cubed x minus 3 cos x equals a half, we could just solve cos 3x equals a half because they're the same. So that's what we're looking at in the next video, where we're going to look at some exam style problems where there's a proof followed by a solve, as a kind of part A, part B. Hope that was useful. I'll see you in the next video.